Good morning, children. This is English video session for class 10. The book which we are doing now is The First Flight, chapter number 5. The topic name is The 100 Dresses, part 1. Good morning, children. This is English video session for class 10. We are doing the chapter number 5. The book is First Flight and the topic name is The 100 Dresses, part 1. The last class I told that you have to know well about the Polish American community that have settled in United States. We need to brush aside to know the general information about the Polish American population or the community that exists in United States of America. So we need to refresh the thing. Okay, what are Russian Poles, German Poles and Austrian Poles? Who are they? What was their population when the 2000 census? Okay, so let's see about it again. We need to know it thoroughly. Though it is connected with history, it has a great impact on the background of the story because the entire story deals with ethnicity and differences. Okay, so let's see. The first Polish immigrant arrived in America in the 1608. So in which century? 16th century. But the largest wave of Polish immigration occurred in the early 20th century. So already the movement has started in 16th century. And the wave started in the 20th century. Great wave. Okay. It is said that when more than 1 million Poles, okay, so more than a million Poles migrated to the United States. The Polish state did not exist at the time and the immigrants were identified according to the country of origin rather than of their ethnicity. So they in Poland itself, when the Polish people itself, they came from different parts of the world. Okay, the country where the immigrants were considered from by the country they came from. They were identified as Russian Poles, German Poles, and Austrian Poles. Again, they were identified according to their country. Okay, the country origin rather than of the ethnicity. So, what were the countries? The Russian Poles, the people of Poles who settled in Russia, German Poles, the people of Poles who settled in German, Austrian Poles, the Poles who settled in Austria. One of the most notable Polish American communities in Chicago and its suburbs. So when we go to Chicago, when we see in Chicago and its suburb, the areas around Chicago, it is said that it is the second largest Polish city in the world, next only to Warsaw. What is Warsaw? The real capital of Poland. The population of Warsaw and the population of Poles in Chicago is almost similar. Okay. The Polish Americans were sometimes discriminated against in the United States. So this is a very common thing that used to happen in the countries like these Western countries. The Polish Americans were sometimes discriminated as what? Against in the United States as Irish. The Italians were also discriminated. Irish, Italians, Jews. They all came and settled in America. Okay. According to the United States 2000 census, 6,67,414 Americans of the age group of the age 5 years and older reported Polish as the language spoken as whole. So, the mother tongue of a great population was taken as Polish. Okay. Well, about 1.4% of the people who speak languages other than English, or 0.25% of the US population. Okay. So the this is the population, US population. So next continue. Yesterday, the last class, we saw about the girl Vanda Petronsky, who was today about her class school and the room number 13, where she used to occupy the last seat. It is usually the place where the rough boys who do not make good marks sat. The corner of the room where there was more scuffling of the feet, dragging, making noises made by movements. Okay, and it is almost filled with dirt and mud. Okay, so she did not come, but is she a rough girl? Is she a person who is very noisy? Definitely not. In fact, nobody knows her voice. Nobody has seen her laugh. Okay, sometimes she rarely twisted her mouth in a crooked way. That's all. Okay, now shall we continue? Now, where does she come from? Boggin Heights. Boggins. Boggins. Heights. Heights. So capital B, capital H. Boggin Heights. Her feet were usually caked with mud, dry mud. Why caked? Because that entire area is so muddy. So it gets into your chappals and shoes or whatever. So it will be muddy. Okay. The time when they thought was, so when there are two school, always we have the break, is it not? And the children talk with their other friends only during that, and during the class hours you will not be permitted to speak or talk. So the only time is just before the school begins, after the school closes, or during the recess time, is it not? So also here, what happens? Let's see. The time when they thought about this is, I am now doing the 1, 2, 3, fourth paragraph, children. Did you get it? Page number 64, paragraph number 4. Did you locate it? Yes. The time when they thought about Vanda was outside the school hours. At noon time, when they were coming back to school, or in the morning early before the school began. So, before the school began, or once the school is over. When groups of 2 or 3 or even more would be talking and laughing on their way to in the schoolyard. So, the yard, the passages. Okay, so these children, they will be found in the passages and they will be talking loudly. Okay, then sometimes they waited for Vanda to have fun with her. What do? They waited for Vanda to have fun. The next day, Tuesday, Vanda was not in school either, and nobody found her absence. What happened? Nobody found her absence. Nobody know that she was not there in the class. Okay. But on Wednesday, Peggy and Maddie, who sat in the front with other children, who got good marks and who don't track in the whole lot of mud, did notice that Vanda wasn't there. So, Monday, Tuesday she was not there, and Wednesday also she was not there. It was noticed by who? Peggy and Maddie. Peggy and Maddie are children who sat in the front. They are very good front rows, and they usually um, get good marks. They are quite studious. It was they who noticed because Peggy was most popular girl in the school. She was pretty and she had many pretty clothes and her hair was curly. Maddie was her closest friend. The reasons Peggy and Maddie noticed absence was because Vanda had made them late to school. Is it when we read this, we are able to understand that these two girls are waiting for her? Is it for the friendship which made them wait? Definitely not. Why? It is the regular habit to tease the girl. Okay? So they had waited and they had come late to the school on that day, Wednesday. Okay? I repeated, but on Wednesday, Peggy and Maddie, who sat down front with other children, who got good marks and who didn't track the whole lot of mud, did notice that Wanda wasn't there. Peggy was the most popular girl. Now we are getting into the characteristic sketch of the two children, Peggy and Maddie. In fact, the entire story revolves around Peggy, Maddie, and uh, Wanda. Main character is Wanda, and the subsequent changes of Peggy and Maddie is what the entire story revolves around. So they notice, and these two girls have come to late inside to the class. Why? Because they had been waiting for Wanda. So is it to show their friendship? Why? Let us see the reason for why they had waited for Wanda. Shall we continue? So, what about Peggy? Very brilliant, very, what to say? She was very pretty and she's the popular in the school. Okay, what does she wear? Pretty clothes and she had curly hair. Okay, now Maddie was her closest friend. So, whose friend is Maddie? Peggy's friend is Maddie. And Peggy and Maddie noticed Wanda's absence was because Wanda had made them late to school. Okay? Yes. They had waited and waited for Wanda. Okay? To have some fun with her. What was the purpose? Look at the sentence. They waited not to welcome her, not to express their happiness. No, they had waited to have fun with her. Okay? And she just hadn't come. She had not come. They often waited for Wanda Petronsky to have fun with her. The reason why they always wanted her is to have fun with her. Now, children, I will be asking you these questions. You must be in a position to answer. In fact, what is happening is the revision. And so you must be, and that too, you have to do it in appropriate sentences. Okay? Where in the classroom does Wanda sit and why? Last row. What is the place usually who sits there? The rough and the students who are very who are very rough and who make a lot of noise and who don't get good grades. and this place is full of mud and dirt. The one who used to make noises, scuffling noise, used to sit there. Is it because uh, uh, she's talkative or she's noisy? No, it is not at all, because she did not have a nobody. She did not want to. She did never mingled with and nobody wanted her. So she was always alone. Where does Vanda live? Boggin Heights. B capital, H capital. What kind of place do you think it is? It's muddy with dry uh, sand, and then it cakes, and her feet will always be. Haven't you seen? It's the place where it has got dry mud. When and why do Peggy and Maddie not on Wednesday? Okay, and why did they want? Because they were waiting to have some fun with her. What do you think is to have fun with her means? What does it mean? Making remarks on her, trying to poke her, trying to call her names, trying to ask her some embarrassing questions. Okay, all these things are called, and how to make her feel embarrassed, trying to find some information about her. All these things are called to have fun. All these exercises which are taken up makes her feel very uncomfortable. The child literally feels uncomfortable when someone is having fun with her. And these two girls love to have. Do we like someone to have fun with us? No. Then when we don't want others to have fun with us, why should we do fun on others? Is the matter. Nobody wants to be made fun of. Is it? Is it not? Everyone wants to be respected, dignified, friendly. Okay. Then why should some make fun of others? Yes. So we have these 4 questions. Oral comprehension. I think you were able to answer all the questions, and so far you have completed. So Vanda Petronsky, please remember the names, don't forget it. The other 2 girls are, one is Peggy, another is Maddie. Okay, so far have you understood the story? Yes. Shall we proceed it? You can read well and calm. We can continue from the same from the page number, this page, okay, from the next class. Okay, so just read and come so that it will be easy to understand. Okay, with this I stop. Thank you, children.